Welcome to Stoic Inner Power, where we explore the ancient wisdom that helps you reclaim your life from toxic people-pleasing. Many of us live with a deep fear of disappointing others, sacrificing our own happiness just to keep the peace constantly. This behavior is not a virtue but a heavy chain that holds you back from realizing your true potential and strength. Today we will dive into 9 powerful principles of Stoicism to help you destroy the people-pleasing syndrome once and forever. You will learn how to build unbreakable boundaries, develop true self-respect, and take back total control of your own life. It is time to stop seeking validation from everyone around you and start living authentically according to your own core values. Let us begin this transformative journey together and discover the immense power that lies within your disciplined and focused Stoic mind. The first principle addresses the brutal difference between being genuinely good and merely being nice to avoid any potential social conflict. We often confuse niceness with goodness, but they are fundamentally different concepts that dictate how we interact with the surrounding world. Being nice is often a fragile mask worn to hide our deep insecurities and a desperate need for constant external approval. A nice person agrees with everyone, suppressing their own true feelings just to ensure that nobody feels uncomfortable or slightly offended. This fake kindness stems from a profound fear of rejection, making you a prisoner to the unpredictable emotions of other people. In contrast, genuine goodness is rooted in absolute integrity, requiring the immense courage to speak the truth, despite the awkward consequences. A truly good person stands firmly by their personal values, even when their honesty makes the people around them feel uneasy. Stoicism teaches us that protecting your boundaries is a sacred duty, far more important than maintaining a superficial and fake harmony. When you prioritize being nice over being authentic, you slowly erode your own soul and lose touch with your true self. People pleasers often find themselves exhausted, carrying the heavy emotional burdens of others while completely neglecting their own vital mental health. You must realize that true respect is never given to those who constantly bend their will just to appease the crowd. Instead, respect is earned by those who have the strength to stand their ground and defend their beliefs with unwavering conviction. Shed the mask of fake niceness today and embrace the powerful, unyielding nature of genuine goodness that comes from deep within. By choosing integrity over approval, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of constantly trying to manage other people's fragile emotions. Remember that your primary responsibility is to your own character, not to the temporary comfort of those who might exploit you. When you speak your truth, you filter out those who only value you for your endless compliance and blind, unquestioning obedience. The people who truly matter will respect your honesty and appreciate the clear boundaries that you have courageously established for yourself. Do not let the fear of conflict turn you into a passive observer in the grand, unfolding narrative of your life. Step into your power by recognizing that your voice matters, and your needs are just as important as anyone else's desires. A Stoic mind remains calm and resolute, unfazed by the displeasure of others when upholding what is fundamentally right and just. Practice saying what you mean without malice, but also without the desperate need to soften every blow for the listener's sake. This shift from nice to good is the foundational step in reclaiming your autonomy and building an unshakable core of self-worth. Now we move to the second principle, which is learning how to weaponize the unflinching and absolute power of the word no. Time is your most precious and irreplaceable asset, yet people pleasers give it away freely to anyone who demands their attention. Every time you say yes to something you hate, you are actively saying no to your own goals, dreams, and peace. You do not owe anyone a lengthy explanation or a fabricated excuse when you decide to decline their unreasonable, demanding requests. The word no is a complete sentence, carrying immense power when delivered with calm confidence and without any hint of hesitation. Many of us feel an overwhelming urge to apologize when setting a boundary, but this only weakens your position and authority. An apology implies that you have done something wrong, but protecting your time and energy is a fundamental right, not a crime. Learn to deliver your refusal clearly and concisely, and then embrace the profound silence that follows without rushing to fill it. This silence is deeply uncomfortable for manipulators, as it signals that you are no longer playing their exhausting game of compliance. When you stop over-explaining, you stop giving others the ammunition they need to argue, negotiate, or guilt trip you into submission. Your unflinching no establishes a solid perimeter around your life, keeping out toxic influences and preserving your vital mental energy daily. Stoicism reminds us that we cannot control what others ask of us, but we have absolute control over our own responses. Mastering the art of refusal requires practice, as you must unlearn years of conditioned subservience and the constant desire to please. Start with small refusals in your daily life, gradually building the emotional muscle needed to stand firm against more significant pressures. Notice how liberating it feels when you finally prioritize your own well-being over the endless, draining expectations of the people around you. A firm refusal is an act of profound self-love, signaling to your own mind that your needs are valid and important. Do not let the temporary discomfort of disappointing someone deter you from the long-term peace that comes with honoring your boundaries. Those who genuinely care about you will accept your boundaries gracefully, while those who get angry only cared about controlling you. By weaponizing the unflinching no, you reclaim your schedule, your focus, and ultimately, the entire trajectory of your own personal destiny. This simple yet powerful tool is the cornerstone of a Stoic life, ensuring that your actions align with your true purpose. Our third principle focuses on a subtle but damaging habit that many people pleasers share, which is eradicating the nervous smile. A forced, nervous smile or an awkward laugh when you are being disrespected is a biological signal of submission and weakness. When someone crosses your boundaries and you respond with a polite giggle, you are essentially giving them permission to continue their abuse. Manipulators actively look for these subtle signs of compliance, using your nervous energy as a green light to push even further. We smile nervously because we have been conditioned to avoid conflict at all costs, desperately trying to smooth over tense situations. However, this reflexive appeasement only diminishes your authority and completely undermines the seriousness of the boundaries you're trying to establish. Stoicism teaches us to maintain a calm, impassive demeanor, completely unswayed by the provocative or disrespectful behavior of the people around us. Instead of smiling when you feel uncomfortable, practice holding a neutral facial expression and maintaining steady, unwavering eye contact with them. This simple shift in body language is incredibly powerful, projecting immense confidence and instantly returning the awkwardness to the offending party. When you stop masking your discomfort with a fake smile, you force the other person to confront the reality of their actions. It takes conscious effort to break this deeply ingrained habit, but the resulting surge in your self-respect is absolutely worth the struggle. Start paying close attention to your physical reactions during stressful conversations and consciously relax your facial muscles to remain perfectly neutral. Do not let anyone rush you into a reaction. Take a deep breath, hold your ground, and let your silence speak volumes. Your face should be a mirror of your Stoic mind, perfectly tranquil, focused, and impervious to external attempts at emotional manipulation. By eradicating the nervous smile, you stop betraying yourself and start communicating with a quiet, undeniable authority that commands immediate respect. People will quickly realize that you are no longer an easy target, and they will adjust their behavior to match your strength. This is not about being aggressive or mean. It is simply about being brutally authentic and refusing to minimize your own presence. Embrace the raw power of a calm, unsmiling demeanor when dealing with those who seek to exploit your natural kindness and generosity. You are the guardian of your own dignity, and it starts with controlling the microscopic signals your body sends to the world. Let your steady gaze and neutral expression be the impenetrable shield that deflects their manipulation and protects your inner Stoic peace. The fourth principle is crucial for maintaining your newfound power, and that is to completely stop explaining your personal boundaries to others. When you explain reasons for saying no, you are subconsciously asking the other person for approval and validation of your choice. Manipulators do not listen to your lengthy explanations to understand you. They listen solely to find loopholes they can exploit and attack. A boundary is not the opening line of a negotiation. It is a firm, non-negotiable statement of fact regarding your personal limits. Treat your boundaries like administrative directives, clear, concise, and completely devoid of any emotional pleading or desperate attempts at seeking mutual understanding. You do not need to justify your need for rest, your desire for solitude, or your absolute refusal to tolerate disrespectful behavior. When you state your limit and stop talking, you project an aura of unshakable confidence that effectively shuts down any further debate. People pleasers fear being brief makes them seem cold, but clarity is actually the highest form of respect you can possibly offer. By refusing to over-explain, you conserve your precious mental energy and prevent yourself from getting dragged into exhausting, pointless, and circular arguments. Stoicism teaches us to focus only on what is within our control, which is stating our truth clearly without needing their agreement. If someone gets upset because you will not debate boundaries, that is their emotional problem to manage, not your burden to carry. Stand firm in your decisions, knowing your inherent worth does not depend on making everyone else feel perfectly comfortable all the time. Practice saying, "I cannot commit to this right now," and simply let the sentence hang in the air without any further additions. You will be amazed how quickly people accept your terms when you present them as absolute facts rather than open, flexible suggestions. This speech discipline is a hallmark of a strong Stoic mind that refuses to be swayed by the emotional turbulence of others. Protect your peace fiercely by stripping away unnecessary apologies and justifications that only serve to weaken your powerful and resolute inner voice. Your life is your own kingdom, and you are the sole authority on what is allowed within its carefully guarded sacred borders. Do not hand over the keys to your peace by inviting outsiders to judge and critique your most deeply personal private choices. Embrace the liberating truth that you owe no one an explanation for living life in a way that honors your own spirit. Let your actions speak for themselves, and let your silence be the impenetrable wall that protects your carefully constructed, beautiful Stoic fortress. We now arrive at the fifth principle, a devastatingly effective technique known as applying the fatal blow through a strategic and calculated absence. Human psychology dictates that people rarely appreciate what is always available, often taking constant presence and endless generosity completely for granted. If you support people who treat you poorly, they will never find the internal motivation to change their highly disrespectful behavior. Strategic absence means deliberately withdrawing your energy, enthusiasm, and attention from those who repeatedly and intentionally disrespect your clearly established personal boundaries. This is not a manipulation game. It is a profound act of self-preservation and a clear demonstration of your high inherent value. When others realize your presence is a revocable privilege, they are immediately forced to reevaluate how they treat you on a daily basis. Stop initiating contact, stop offering unprompted help, and stop filling the silent voids they create with their own negligence and pure selfishness. Direct all that beautiful energy back into your own passions, your personal growth, and the pursuit of your own magnificent goals. A Stoic philosopher knows true power lies not in forcing others to stay, but in being perfectly content to walk away. Your absence speaks louder than any desperate plea for respect ever could, echoing in the empty spaces you purposefully left behind. If they value you, they will notice the shift and step up. If not, you have successfully removed a heavy burden. Do not fear the temporary loneliness accompanying this withdrawal. It is merely the quiet space where your inner strength rapidly grows. Embrace solitude as a powerful forge, hammering your spirit into something unbreakable, resilient, and fiercely independent from the noisy crowd. Mastering strategic absence allows you to teach the world exactly how to treat you, setting an uncompromising standard of respect. You are not a limitless resource for others to drain. You are a sovereign individual protecting your own precious peace. Let them feel the cold reality of your absence and watch the relationship dynamic fundamentally shift in your favor permanently. This is the ultimate test of Stoic resolve, refusing to break silence even when the urge to fix things feels overwhelming. Hold the line, trust your value, and let the powerful quiet do the heavy lifting to weed out toxic elements. You will emerge lighter, stronger, and completely free from the exhausting obligation to continually maintain one-sided, deeply unfulfilling personal connections. Strategic absence is the sword cutting the invisible strings of manipulation, allowing you to finally stand tall as your absolute master. The sixth principle requires a radical perspective shift, demanding you absolutely abandon the toxic addiction to being universally liked by everyone. Desiring to be liked by every single person. Illusion leading ultimately to your own inevitable destruction. No great historical figure was ever universally loved. They all faced fierce opposition, bitter criticism, and intense, relentless public hatred. Living your truth boldly and without apology will naturally offend those who benefit greatly from your silence and passive compliance. Being disliked by petty, manipulative, or toxic individuals is not a failure. It is actually a profound badge of supreme integrity. Stop twisting yourself into uncomfortable shapes just to fit into narrow, suffocating boxes that others conveniently design for your life. Stoicism teaches that the only approval truly mattering is the quiet, steady approval of your own highly disciplined, rational conscience. Releasing the desperate need to be liked suddenly unlocks a massive reserve of previously wasted, brilliant, and powerful creative energy. You can finally speak your mind, pursue genuine interests, and build a life authentically reflecting your deepest, most cherished core values. People meant to be in your life will be drawn to your authenticity, not the fake, pleasing persona you previously wore. Except that some people will misunderstand, judge, or actively dislike you, and realize this is perfectly fine and completely normal. Their negative opinions merely reflect their own limitations and insecurities, holding absolutely no power over your inherent worth and future. Stand tall, facing disapproval, wrapping yourself in the invulnerable armor of a stoic mind, clearly knowing its own true purpose. Abandoning the addiction to being liked lets you step out of the noisy performance theater into the quiet reality of truth. You become a force of nature, unbothered by shifting public opinion, deeply rooted in the solid ground of pure self-belief. Celebrate moments when you are disliked for doing the right thing, because these are moments your soul truly grows much stronger. Let haters hate, let manipulators seethe, and let yourself finally experience the profound, intoxicating freedom of not caring at all anymore. Your life is too short to be spent as a background character in someone else's carefully directed, highly selfish stage play. Take center stage in your existence, unapologetic, fierce, and entirely free from heavy, suffocating chains of needing constant external daily validation. This liberation is the greatest gift you can give yourself, opening doors to lives of profound meaning, joy, and authentic connection. We now arrive at the seventh principle, involving a powerful return to the impregnable, mighty fortress of your profound self-respect. The harsh reality is, you allow others to trample your boundaries because, deep down, you secretly believe you truly deserve it. People-pleasing is fundamentally a crisis of self-worth, desperately attempting to buy love by constantly selling out your own soul. To break this cycle, you must actively build a self-respect fortress, brick by brick, through daily acts of rigorous discipline. Every time you keep a personal promise, like waking early or exercising, you add a solid brick to this mighty fortress. Self-respect cannot simply be wished into existence. It is forged in fires of hard work, consistency, and absolute unwavering integrity. Deeply respecting yourself naturally projects an aura of unapproachable dignity, repelling manipulators while attracting those who truly value inner strength. You stop tolerating disrespect because your internal behavioral standards are raised so high that toxic people simply cannot reach them anymore. Take time every day to invest in your mind, body, and spirit, continually reinforcing the walls of your beautiful inner sanctuary. Read Stoic philosophy, meditate on core values, and physically train your body, creating an unbreakable synergy of strong mind and muscle. As self-respect grows, your tolerance for nonsense shrinks, and you find it incredibly easy rejecting highly unreasonable, toxic daily demands. You no longer look to the chaotic outside world to determine who you are or what your ultimate human value is. Your worth is safely locked inside your fortress, guarded by the fierce, unwavering loyalty you finally developed for your precious self. When someone tries manipulating you, they will crash against the solid stone walls of your self-respect and completely shatter apart. You will stand calmly on battlements, untouched by their desperate emotional arrows, secure knowing your own profound, unshakable, and eternal inner strength. Build your fortress high, make walls thick, and never apologize for fiercely defending the sacred space where your soul truly resides. This internal sanctuary is your ultimate refuge from a mad world constantly demanding you sacrifice yourself for its endless, selfish convenience. Protect it at all costs because it is the wellspring of your power, peace, and capacity to live a meaningful life. With strong self-respect, you transform from a fragile leaf blown by the wind into a deeply rooted, completely unmovable mountain. Embrace the hard work of building this fortress, watching your entire reality rearrange itself, matching your newfound, undeniable inner Stoic majesty. The eighth principle introduces one of the most potent Stoic weapons, mastering the devastating power of a cold, highly calculated silence. People pleasers have a terrified reflex filling awkward silences with meaningless chatter, desperate apologies, or unnecessary, overcomplicated, and lengthy verbal explanations. Fearing silence means being judged, disliked, or misunderstood. They frantically use excessive words attempting to desperately control the tense room atmosphere. However, Stoicism teaches a calm, deliberate silence is the ultimate sign of profound internal power and absolute emotional self-control mastery. A truly strong person never feels the anxious compulsion to endlessly prove their worth or justify their existence to anyone anywhere. When provoked, insulted, or subtly manipulated, the most devastating response you can possibly deliver is often no verbal response at all. A cold, steady silence strips the manipulator of their power, leaving their toxic words hanging awkwardly in the air, completely exposed. It forces them to sit with extreme discomfort regarding their bad behavior, while you remain perfectly untouched, serene, and deeply grounded. Refusing to argue actively denies them the emotional reaction they desperately crave to validate their twisted sense of control over you. Silence is a mirror reflecting a fool's foolishness back onto themselves, sparing you the exhausting effort of engaging pointless verbal battles. Practice the art of pausing. When someone speaks out of line, simply look at them with dead, emotionless eyes and wait. Count to 5 internally, letting the heavy silence stretch out until the other person feels the crushing weight of their mistake. You will be astonished how often people nervously backpedal, apologize, or change subjects when confronted with a truly powerful Stoic silence. This technique requires immense discipline, as your ingrained programming will scream at you to speak and break the awful, heavy tension. Overcome that urge, anchor yourself in your breathing, and let the magnificent power of nothingness do the fighting on your behalf. Cold silence is the impenetrable armor of a mind absolutely refusing to play the petty dramatic games of lesser, toxic individuals. It sends a crystal clear message that your attention is valuable and will not be wasted on foolish, childish, toxic provocations. Mastering this silence transforms you into a formidable presence, commanding respect simply by the heavy, undeniable gravity of quiet Stoic composure. Do not give away power by endlessly explaining yourself to those completely committed to intentionally misunderstanding your actions and pure motives. Let your silence be the final, unarguable word in conflicts, a testament to your unshakable inner peace and supreme self-confidence. Finally, the ninth principle is the ultimate culmination of our journey, reclaiming your worth by stopping the habit of outsourcing value. People pleasers constantly live as emotional slaves, completely dependent on the fleeting applause, attention, and approval of the unpredictable public crowd. When you hand over the pen, writing your self-worth to others, you guarantee a life of endless anxiety and misery. Stoicism demands you violently rip that pen back, realizing your true value is an inherent, unchangeable fact of your human existence. Your worth is never determined by how many people like you, how often praised, or how much you sacrifice for others.